Have you heard the term contactor, HVAC contactor, in the heating and air conditioning industry? And you wondered what a heating and air conditioning contactor does? Perhaps you've heard, may have heard your technician say that we had to change the contactor, etc. So the contactor, there could be multiple uses of contactors. Primarily, the use of a contactor that would look similar to this, if not, very close, would be oftentimes found outside in the condenser. And one may ask, well, what is the purpose of a contactor, and what does it do? Very simply, a contactor. Now, if the HVAC gurus can actually add this to the comments, I'm not certain if it matters if you turn it this way or this way, and use T1, T2, L1, L2. But if the HVAC guys can give me some feedback on this, does it make any difference if you rotate it this way or you rotate it this way? But once you get it set and you have L1 and L2, I do understand this. So, but basically, for viewer land, we have L1, L2. So L1 would be line voltage 1. I'm thinking L2 would be line voltage 2. So there would be a wire that would push on here, connect on here with the spade terminal, and a wire that would connect on here. So this would say hypothetically may have 120 volts. This side may have 120 volts. If you take and add both together, 120 plus 120, that would be 240. So, and if we take our meter, if it's energized, and come to this side, T1 and T2, I'm not certain what that means, if that's terminal 1, terminal 2. And again, they have the spade connectors where you could connect the spade connectors. But if it was energized and we had 120 here, and we come here and we have nothing here and nothing here, then one may say, well, what is the problem? There may not be a problem. Simply this little plunger thing gummy here, this little thing here pulls in. Once this pulls in and once this presses in, then the 120 jumps here, the 120 jumps here, so you should have 120 here as long as this is in. Now one may ask, well, what causes this plunger to pop in? It's simply on the side, as one can see, there are terminals on the side, and these terminals on the side are low voltage terminals. There's a coil under here, and this is for low voltage. One plug-in would plug on one side, one plug-in would plug on the other side. So when this becomes energized, say, for instance, if you were calling for cool and you had a yellow wire and a blue wire, or some people actually come out here with a red wire and then a blue wire. So the blue would be your common, the yellow would be your hot, or the red would be your hot. But I think the red would tap on somewhere under the yellow in the air handler, or somewhere it would come from the thermostat. But basically, when it becomes energized from the thermostat, then at this point, then this, once this becomes 24 volt, hits here and here, then this pulls in. Once this pulls in, then your 120 jumps from here to here. Now, when it becomes de-energized, say if you were cooling your house and your thermostat, you had it set on 70, and then it met the temperature in the room, what you were looking for, and then the thermostat cut off because it was satisfied, then this little plunger, kind of a spring-loaded, it seems like, little gadget, would pop up, and then you would only have 120 here, 120 here, and you would not have 120 here until it becomes energized again by the 24 volts, which is on this side and this side. And once the 24 volts energizes this and energizes this side, it pulls the coil in and maybe creates, I'm not certain if it's a magnetic field, and pulls this down. And as one can see, then the little contacts make contact, and then your voltage would jump over. So again, if the thermostat was met again and de-energized, it would pop up. You would have voltage here, no voltage here. Now, if it becomes energized, this pushes in. If it's working correctly, energizes from the low voltage, the two terminals on the side. Then you would have 120 here, 120 here. Then you would have 120 here, 120 here. It's just kind of a way to think of it to start and stop high voltage, to bring high voltage to a particular area. But there are times when one needs to cut it off so that something doesn't just keep running all the time and burn something up. So basically, but this is how it's energized. Low voltage energizes high voltage. This is high voltage. This would be high voltage after energized. This would be low voltage from here and here to pull this in with the coil. Once the low voltage pulls this in, the high voltage jumps from here to here to here to here. So you have 120, 120, 120. Now this is pulled in, so you would have 120, 120 here if you put your voltmeter on it. Again, once it's satisfied, it comes up. Then you would have no voltage here. You would still have 120 here, 120 here. And this is simply how an HVAC contactor works. If you find any of these videos helpful, please subscribe, like, and share, and have a great day.